Chinese homebuyers stage protests nationwide. China's house prices fall at fastest pace in nearly a year despite stimulus efforts. U.S. expands export controls on AI chips to China. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Chinese homebuyers stage protests nationwide. Chinese developers have suspended the construction of apartment buildings amid the real estate crisis, triggering a widespread mortgage boycott among homebuyers in several provinces and cities across China in recent weeks. These homeowners have organized protests at construction sites and local government offices, demanding the completion of homes they've already paid pre-sale deposits for and started making mortgage payments on. These protests swept across multiple Chinese provinces and cities, including Shanghai, Sichuan, Hunan, and Shandong, and reportedly encountered resistance and violence from local authorities. Protests. On October 10, authorities in Nandayuan Township, Baoding City, Hebei Province, announced that a local surnamed Tao, who bought an apartment unit in the housing community called Xiulan Yufeng Garden, had been subjected to criminal coercive measures for allegedly organizing and inciting homeowners to participate in a rights protest in Beijing. The official release further stated that 15 other individuals had also been punished. Xiulan Yufeng Garden is a subsidiary of Hebei Xiulan Real Estate and has the largest property portfolio in the region. It also holds the top spot for the highest number of unfinished buildings in Baoding City. The developer, Shandong Jianbon Holding Group, had promised to complete construction and hand over the units to buyers on December 31 this year. Nevertheless, construction has remained suspended since September 2019, prompting homebuyers to go to Beijing and lodge a complaint. On October 8, more than 200 homebuyers of the halted Zhongxin International City project in Jinan, Shandong Province, protested at a shopping mall operated by the same developer, Shandong Jianbon Holding Group, resulting in confrontations with police. According to Chinese media reports, one homebuyer said the building's completion was initially scheduled for September 30 but has been postponed, affecting over 1,000 buyers. On the morning of October 7, around 200 homeowners from the suspended Kongqiao Neangxi Phase 2 development in Zhengzhou City, Hunan Province, held a protest. Reports indicate that local authorities detained them that day, but their whereabouts and status remain unknown. According to Chinese media reports, on October 7, a significant number of homeowners from the unfinished Flower Sea Forest development in Daishu County, Sichuan Province, gathered at the local government building's entrance to protest and were met with a violent response from the police, leading to the arrest of several protesters. Resident Wang Chang, who opted to use a pseudonym for security reasons, told the Epoch Times that he had heard from locals that the conflict was intense that day. In May, the homeowners complained on the local government's question and answer webpage, and the Daishu County Housing and Urban Rural Development Bureau responded beneath the post, saying it took the matter very seriously. Waning confidence. Mr. Wang, a local, acquired an apartment unit in the Flower Sea Forest last year. He said he was lured in by the promotional offer of buy one, get one free that he decided to sign the contract within 2 hours. But he did not expect that construction of the home would stop. Mr. Wang cautioned against purchasing pre-sold homes in China, stating, "Previously, you could see ongoing construction. But the next day, construction might grind to a halt." Jiang Hao, pseudonym, who owns a unit at Wanda Royal House in Tianjin's Jinghai district, spent more than 2 million yuan, $270,000 to buy the property with the help of his parents. Still, the home was half-built, and he was furious with the developer. He told the publication that having the house completed would allow him to recoup some of his investment rather than being saddled with a 30-year debt and ending up with nothing. Mr. Jiang said he has lost confidence in the real estate industry and believes the pre-sale housing policy created this situation. He expressed his wish for homes to become more affordable so that ordinary people like him wouldn't fall victim to scams and lose their life savings. Unfinished luxury mansion in Shanghai. On the eve of October 8, about 20 to 30 owners of the troubled Binjiang Yiping development in Shanghai's Pudong district participated in a protest inside the building, demanding the developer to guarantee the completion of the building. They also used strobe lights to attract public attention. According to protester Liu Yu, pseudonym, the demonstration ended when police arrived at the scene and arrested 5 protesters. She mentioned that they were able to enter the building because they had received notifications about the event through word of mouth in order to avoid police surveillance on phones and social media. Ms. Liu, also a homebuyer, said, "Police are aware of our protests every time, they monitor our WeChat group, arrive at the locations before us, and often outnumber us." She added, "The homeowners are afraid to discuss matters in the WeChat group." Ms. Liu purchased a presale home worth 20 million yuan, about $2.7 million, in the Binjiang Yiping development, with a down payment from her and her parents' savings, plus a bank loan of 1.5 million yuan, about $200,000. Binjiang Yiping, a luxury property formerly known as Higashi Sakura Apartments, is a privately owned apartment developed and built by Higashi Sakura Real Estate under Japan's Matsushita Industrial Corporation in 1995, which was purchased by Shanghai Qinli Real Estate in 2016 for more than 3 billion yuan, $410 million. Located on the bustling Huangpu River, the development launched nearly 200 units, with the total price of even the smallest 131 square meter unit costing almost 15 million yuan, about $2.05 million, as well as a 500 square meter mega duplex with a total price of 60 million yuan, about $8.22 million. In 2020, the state-owned company China Cinda Asset joined the project as the largest shareholder, contributing nearly 2 billion yuan, about $274 million, and holding 70% of the company's shares. Shanghai No. 7 Construction Company, Limited was the general contractor for the project. However, issues related to a disrupted capital flow led the primary shareholder, China Cinda Asset, to withhold payment for the project with house purchases, resulting in outstanding arrears of 70 million yuan, about $9 million, causing a near-complete halt to the project. The initial completion dates for the project, initially slated for March 12, 2022, and December 10, 2022, have been pushed back by approximately a year, with no definitive completion date in sight. Homeowners did not expect a mansion project backed by a state-owned enterprise to encounter such difficulties. In response, they engaged in prolonged protests and, in August of this year, issued a collective statement suspending mortgage payments. Following multiple demonstrations, which included blocking a district leader's vehicle and lodging a formal complaint, the local government agreed to establish a supervisory account. This would enable owners to contribute funds to resume construction. However, Ms. Liu said the process is cumbersome and requires approval from China Cinda Asset. Ms. Liu expressed her frustration, saying, "Defending our rights has been a challenging process as government entities keep shifting responsibility between each other." She explained, "We, as homeowners, have had to use our own money to help ourselves." China Cinda Asset initially signed the contract, allowing the release of funds, but their response has been protracted. To date, they have only communicated with 3 households, which took more than a month. Ms. Liu purchased a home in Shanghai for her elderly parents due to the proximity of 2 hospitals, which is ideal for them. However, she is now uncertain whether her octogenarian parents will have the opportunity to live in their new home. She said, "I'm repaying a monthly loan of 70,000 yuan to 80,000 yuan, about $9,000 to $10,000. Now, the economic conditions are worrisome. My biggest fear is losing my job." Weak sales. This year's September 29th to October 6th is a public holiday in mainland China. September and October used to be the peak season for the property market every year, known as the Golden September, Silver October. According to a report released on October 7 by the China Index Research Institute, new homes sold in major cities across the country declined by 17% compared to the same period last year during the 8-day holiday period. It also dropped by 24% compared to the same period in 2019, prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. These figures indicate that overall market confidence has not fully recovered. US-based economist Li Hengqin believes the surge in home sales has waned due to the overall downturn of the real estate market in China. Despite increased promotions for home sales across all cities during the extended holiday, the overall results proved disappointing. Authorities in Heilongjiang province recently organized 13 real estate companies to attend a promotional event in Nanjing to sell 21 real estate projects and nearly 5,000 suites. Nevertheless, the real estate promotion event didn't generate any sales. Mr. Li said, China's real estate market is characterized by supply exceeds demand, price reduction is an inevitable trend. At this moment, whoever buys a house will lose. He added that frustration with the real estate industry has left many people reluctant to make home purchases at this time. China's house prices fall at fastest pace in nearly a year despite stimulus efforts. In September, China's housing prices recorded the fastest decline in nearly a year, which made people more doubtful whether the supportive measures implemented by the government can revive the real estate sector. Data released by China's National Bureau of Statistics on Thursday, October 19, showed that the prices of new commercial residential houses in 70 large and medium-sized cities in September fell 0.3% from August. This is the largest month-on-month decline since October 2022. The existing home prices fell 0.48% in September, matching August's drop and marking the largest drop since 2014. The data indicates that although major cities have introduced measures to stimulate the sluggish market, their house prices continue to fall. The home prices data came one day after another report revealed that property sales and investment extended their declines. Property investments plunged 9.1% in the first 9 months of 2023, indicating that investor sentiment is getting worse. China's property sector has once been a key engine of the country's economic growth. The market has been squeezed by the government's regulatory crackdown since 2020 as the authorities sought to curb excessive debt. After a years-long housing slump, Chinese developers face a shortage of funds and often delay construction projects, triggering default risks for developers. In recent weeks, the government has launched stimulus measures by relaxing borrowing rules and lifting home purchasing curbs in some cities, seeking to boost buyer sentiment and the market recovery. However, the acceleration of house price decline in September is adding to doubts over whether Beijing's steps are enough to revive the sector. China's real estate crisis reached another grim milestone this week when Country Garden, once the country's largest developer, said it may default on its US dollar bonds for the first time. Chinese state media paper .cn reported earlier this week that a grace period to pay $15 million in interest on a US dollar bond expired this week, with no word of payment from the company. It could mark the first ever default by the real estate giant on its billions of dollars of offshore debt, which could lead to a debt restructuring. On Thursday, October 19, Country Garden released a statement threatening to pursue legal action against anyone spreading rumors about its founder Yang Guiqiang fleeing the country. The statement read, "The company is concerned about rumors that the founder and his daughter may have left the country." This rumor was posted on multiple online platforms with ulterior motives, causing a negative impact. The founder of our company and the chairman of the group's board of directors are currently working normally in China. Yang Huiyan currently chairs Country Garden. She took over the position in March from her father Yang Guiqiang. A lot of house buyers in China are worried that Country Garden and other developers will lack money to complete residential projects. Investor sentiment has also deteriorated. Bloomberg Intelligence's China Developer Stock Price Index fell to a 14-year low on Wednesday, October 18. U.S. expands export controls on AI chips to China. The United States government announced new regulations this week that will expand its controls on the export of advanced artificial intelligence (AI) chips to China. In an announcement on October 17, the U.S. Department of Commerce said that the new rules are intended to close loopholes after last year's restrictions on AI chip exports went into effect. The new measures would further prohibit the export of advanced AI chips designed by NVIDIA and other U.S. companies to China, and further impose more restrictions on the export of chip production tools and equipment. Following the new regulations, NVIDIA's slowed-down version H800 and A800 chips designed specifically for the Chinese market will be affected. AI chips from Intel and Advanced Micro Devices (AMD) may also be hit. The restrictions could also hamper the sale and export to China of semiconductor manufacturing equipment from companies such as Applied Materials, Lam Research, and KLA. The new regulations also expand the export licensing requirements for advanced chips to more than 40 countries and regions, with the purpose of eliminating the risk that advanced chips may be transshipped to China through these countries. According to CNBC, the restrictions cut off a big and growing market for AI semiconductors and could raise concerns that Beijing will retaliate economically against U.S. firms doing business in China. U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo explained that the goal of the U.S. restrictions is to prevent Chinese access to advanced semiconductors that could fuel breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, especially with military uses. She said that they're not intended to hurt Chinese economic growth. Raimondo added that the updated regulations are specifically designed to control China's access to computing power, which will significantly slow China's development of the next-generation frontier model and could be leveraged in ways that threaten the U.S. and its allies, especially because they could be used for military uses and modernization. Those businesses that want to export AI chips to China will have to notify the U.S. government. In addition, the Department of Commerce is expected to expand the list of semiconductor manufacturing equipment subject to U.S. restrictions. The United States is seeking to close loopholes dealing with how to ship chips to companies that are headquartered in China or other embargoed regions, to prevent a loophole where a foreign subsidiary buys chips and then ships them into China. The U.S.'s new measures face protest from China. China's Xinhua news agency reported on October 18 that a spokesman for the Chinese Ministry of Commerce said the United States is generalizing the concept of national security, abusing export control measures, and unilaterally implementing bullying behavior. The spokesman said that China is strongly dissatisfied with this and firmly opposes it. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.